Hello my friends, we are back in Wytheville, Virginia today, and we're at a place called the Homestead, which is part of the Wytheville Museums. This house was built in 1848 and it is packed full of regional furniture. I hope you'll join me today and I hope you enjoy the tour. I'm Daniel Shew, the Old House Agent. I'm a real estate agent and I specialize in old and historic homes in Southwest Virginia and Northeast Tennessee. I've dedicated my career to preserving these places while helping others discover the joy of owning a piece of our region's past. On this channel, you'll find restoration journeys, history, and honest insight into what it truly takes to bring old houses back to life. And I'm grateful to have you along for the adventure. So we're inside here with my friend Michael Gilman, and he is going to show us around the house. Michael, thank you very much
Thank y'all for coming.
Yeah, we're glad to. So, tell us a little bit about what you do here and a little bit about what the house is and how old it is.
Sure, yeah. I'm the manager of historic sites and homestead museum operations for the town of Wytheville. This is the homestead. This is our main house here, built in 1848 by William Hufford. He was a master brick mason in Wytheville in the mid-1800s. This was his personal home where him and his family lived. He's most known for building the Boyd Hotel, which stood down near the railroad tracks. It burned in the 1950s, but at the time it was built, it was the tallest building in the state of Virginia.
Oh, wow.
He's built quite a few homes here in town. But like I said, this was his personal home. In the 1920s, it was sold off to the Umberger family. Sewillow Umberger, her husband Cecil Jackson, donated the property here to the town of Wytheville in 2000. This is our pride and joy, really.
And you said
to me.
there are 18 buildings on this property?
18 buildings on 9.5 acres.
Wow. And most of them are log?
Most of them are log. There is one original log structure to the property. That's our smokehouse directly out back. Everything else, Cecil and Sewillow brought in to try to create this homestead farm and such like that, so that people can come and enjoy it.
Great, that's great. And you all have it furnished, literally, with lots of furniture.
Yeah, it's so if you go to our rock house museum and stuff like that, it's set up like a house. This is a house, but it's different. We've got it set up like a gallery exhibit. And everything in this house was made right here in Wythe County.
Incredible.
With a large majority before the Civil War.
Wow.
So it's we're fortunate to have these pieces. Fortunate that a lot of them are still in their original condition, and we want to show them off because there's a lot of rare items that have come out of Wythe County, and we're lucky to have some of those.
Definitely. I'm excited to see some of this, and before we get going, I just want to take a look at this staircase.
Yeah.
This is some, we want to talk about architecture as well, and it's a folkier version of the rock house.
It is, yeah. The house has got Greek Revival woodwork. The green that you see in this room, that is as close as we could get to the original paint that we found on the front here after we changed the front screen door.
Nice.
We did find some original paint traces underneath, so this is as close as we could get it. Unfortunately, we found that after we had already painted some rooms for the exhibit spaces and everything. Yeah. So the center hall is what has the original paint color that we could find. The stairwell, it's awesome because all this varnish has been worn off, but you can see that it was originally red washed, so red and green, and it goes back to the Germans. The Germans loved color. They had color in their houses, their furniture, everything.
I was going to laugh and say that's Christmas, but that's where Christmas traditions came from.
The Germans brought the Christmas tree and everything.
And then you all have white walls because that was pretty common in this era and area, just to have a lime wash on the walls.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Good deal. Well, shall we jump over in this room?
Absolutely.
And despite what people think about old homes, it wasn't always like brown and tan. Like this is a period appropriate color too, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All the colors that you'll see in the house is from Colonial Williamsburg paint colors.
Okay.
They might not be exact, but they're as close as we could get to what they had with our local paint mixer and everything. So this blue, like I said, we picked it out before we had actually found the original color. So we went with the blue in a couple rooms, and upstairs you'll see a few different ones as well.
Yeah, well, they did use this blue in our area. The Robert Preston house in Bristol has a very similar color at the very base of all the paint colors. So it definitely was here, but yeah, it looks like this house was a little more earth toned.
Yeah, yeah, it was. And this is, we call this our main gallery. And our main object here is this blanket chest. This was made by John Huddle. It's dated and signed by him. And this is some of our Germans and their handiwork. About 30 of these blanket chests are known to exist.
Gosh.
A large majority are attributed to John Huddle.
Wow, that is stunning. Yeah, the paint is beautiful. It's got a brilliant patina on it.
Yeah, not bad for 14 years old?
Yeah.
13, almost 214, March 10th to be exact.
And what you can't see under all the paint is that it is dovetailed on the sides.
Yes.
And yeah, the feet are kind of short too. What else you got in here? And all these are with county pieces.
All of these are with county pieces. We've got some tables over here, and I know they look kind of plain Jane. This is probably as basic as you can get for a table at that time. However, the magnificent part was when I opened the drawer when we found it, it has a stamp by the maker.
Oh my gosh.
So it's
Look at that.
it's fading, but it matches a wardrobe we have upstairs. And it is W.W. Rich, furniture maker and undertaker, Whitfield, Virginia. And so this has really helped us with attributing tables here. Because for a long time, Rich was a very large furniture maker here in town.
Okay.
But for a long time, people would attribute everything to the Riches. The feet were similar enough to one of their apprentices, James F. Siegel, who eventually went out on his own and made his own tables. So if you look at the feet here, this with these shorter feet, these are now being attributed to William Rich.
Okay.
If you look at a James F. Siegel table, which we have in the back, these feet are much taller.
Okay.
Still the same style because they learned in the same shop.
Yeah.
James F. Siegel learned under William Rich's father.
Okay.
He was apprenticed to his father, so they learned in the same shop. They had the same techniques, and they were able to eventually both have successful businesses. Siegel, his family eventually, they all went to Pulaski County, and they stayed more in the undertaking side. In fact, Siegel Funeral Home is still operating in Pulaski County today.
Wow. And for viewers that don't know a lot about antique furniture, that's what we were talking about, the rock houses, that a lot of furniture makers, their bread and butter was making coffins, and high-end furniture was sort of a cream on top of everything.
It really was, because, I mean, a cabinet maker had those skills, and so they would have coffins ready, I hate to say it, ready to go.
Yeah.
Because that's just part of life.
Definitely was back then.
Not everybody needed a fancy blanket chest or a mahogany veneered chest of drawers like we have in another room. Unfortunately, everybody needed a coffin eventually. Yeah. And so, yeah, cabinet makers would make your coffins.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I don't think a lot of people know that. So what else is great in here? That's a beautiful table.
This is James F. Siegel. And this was what I was talking about with the legs and the feet.
I see that now.
So if you look at the two tables that we just showed, but if you compare the feet, they're pretty much the same, except this part is much taller on a Siegel table than it is a Rich table. Yeah,
it even has that little, I don't know, it's like a lip right there.
And that, again, that is because that's what they were trained to do in the shop of Fleming Rich and Thomas Moyers. It was the Moyers and Rich cabinet shop that actually still stands on Main Street here today.
Right, and so these pieces would date to?
About 1870, both of them.
Wonderful. And here's a great, this is some literature on coffins and everything else there.
James F. Siegel, cabinet maker. He also served on town council here and was actually known to have the most foul mouth in Whitfield.
He looks a little grumpy.
He does look a little grumpy.
Gosh, look at these hinges on the back of here. That's such a cool piece. Now, and you all, we'll cover it in a few minutes, but you had iron forges here, so probably these hinges were made in the area as well.
Yeah, these John Huddle's brother, I would say, probably made these hinges. Henry Honaker, he's actually a documented blacksmith, and there are some privately owned items from his actual personal house before it was torn down, and they're actually signed by Henry Honaker. So more than likely, the iron hinges were made by Henry, and then his brother utilized them on the painted chests.
And that's a one board back.
Yes.
Golly.
That's a big tree.
That was a big tree, tight grain too. It'd probably be hard to burn that if you set it on fire.
Absolutely.
Nobody would want to think about that though. Oh wow, now this room has some fascinating pieces. I don't know what to cover first, I'll leave that to you, but this right here is like, the table is awesome.
The table here is was actually kind of a newer donation by Kay Horney. Came out of Speedwell. It's attributed to Austin Hines, who was a free man of color.
Okay, wonderful.
And worked in the Christopher Brown shop to learn cabinet making and such like that. So we also date this to about 1860, 1870.
Wow.
But it's very, very unique with the inlaid, I guess diamonds is what you would call them. Very, very, very unique. And so we were happy to get that to kind of expand our African American craftsmen here, because we had quite a few of them. In fact, the pie safe behind you is African American.
Really, I didn't know that.
We don't have a name for this one, but there's 2 pie safes came out of the African American community here in Whitfield. This is one of them.
Yeah, this piece, I like, both of these pieces are unique. I like these folky pulls, but this almost looks European. These big chunky legs and the top and the wood color, it's interesting. I mean, if I'd walked into the room, I would have thought maybe it was, some European piece.
Right.
But it's very cool. Hard to believe it was made in the area.
Yep. Yeah. And again, what's interesting, the best part about it is if you look at the legs, you can see all those kind of variations when you're hand turning something.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's awesome to see that.
And then I do want to talk about this because we've talked about it before, but tell us what this is.
This is a candle drying rack that came out of western Wythe County, which was largely settled by the Germans. And I've never seen anything like it with candle drying because it's painted and it's just so unique. But again, we go back to the Germans. They loved color on everything.
Yeah, lots of paint. The turnings up here are remarkably slim.
Yeah, it's a great piece. That's actually on loan to us right now. So eventually, it's going to go back to its home. So people need to come see it while we still have it.
There you go. Now this corner cabinet is quite substantial.
Corner cabinet was here when the Jacksons donated the property.
Oh wow.
We have an attribution to it to Henry Huddle, John Huddle's brother that I was talking about as a blacksmith. He also was a cabinet maker. We have an attribution based on an estate sale in Ruhr Retreat in the 80s, who is really the lady that kicked off Wythe County Decorative Arts Collective.
Okay.
Lilia Huddle was the first Wythe County Decorative Arts collector, and she collected everything that was made here in the county, largely in the Ruhr Retreat section, because of her German roots and everything.
Wow.
And so she got all those family histories and everything and attached it to her furniture. So she had a corner cupboard that was very similar. So based on that, we could have that attribution that was made to Henry Huddle. Now, obviously, it's been modified a little bit. Originally had H hinges and such on the door.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And so, but
it does look like it was made to fit a very specific space. It's short and wide.
Mm-hmm.
It's very unusual scale, I think. And have the feet been cut off?
They have not.
Wow.
When we painted this room, I actually looked at that, and I don't see any evidence of them being cut off.
That is fascinating.
The interesting thing that I thought about was this, as wide as it is one door.
Gosh, yeah, incredible. Again, and those shelves look like they're one board also.
Yes, one board also.
Incredible. I mean, these trees. So we've talked about in other videos about how these houses were built with old growth that had never been touched. You know, some of these trees could have been 1,000 years old, but it was the same with the furniture. The earlier the furniture, the older the tree would have been.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
when settlers were getting here, nothing had really been touched.
And this is it cherry?
It is cherry. Let me think. Yes, it's cherry. It's got that kind of reddish tint.
Yeah, I'm looking at this grain over here.
It's cherry.
That's interesting too. I don't see many early cherry pieces in the area. Somebody will probably be like, "Oh yeah, there are lots of them," but it's a lot of walnut.
A lot of walnut.
And pine. Wow. Now, one of my favorite pieces is this little guy over here, a gravestone.
Gravestone. Wytheville is known for stone cutters. We had quite a few of them. However, we only have names for one. That's
Wow.
Lawrence Crone. And you can see his work at St. John's Lutheran Church, just north of Walmart. Or you can see his work at the McGavick Cemetery, down where the old Fort Chiswell Merchant Mall was. And then we have what we've called the lollipop carver, because whatever design he puts on the back of his tombstone, he always puts one stem down the center. And that could be a heart, a circle, fil-fot. He always puts that one carved stem towards the base of the tombstone. We also have the Zion carver who is represented here.
Okay.
There's about 30 of his stones over at Zion Lutheran Church near Speedwell.
Okay.
And that's how we've got him from the Zion carver. We think he worked closely with Lawrence Crone because of some similarities. But we're not 100% sure who he is.
I had no idea that there were so many wonderful examples of stone carvers here until I saw you on Appalachian Memory Keepers. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm missing something. I did not know this about Wytheville.
Yeah, there's 4 good cemeteries in Wytheville that represent stones.
Yeah, these kind of feel, like New England looking.
Yeah. There's even stone carvers over, the Zion carver, Sharon Lutheran in Bland and Central Lutheran in Burke's Garden.
Okay.
Also have stones from our stone cutters.
Very interesting. Well, that one looks safe and sound. It's not going to tip over anytime soon.
No, it's good.
Got some interesting weapons on display. And
Gunsmiths, yeah, we had everything here. And again, it's still the Germans. We had so many Germans in Wythe County, and it's kind of like it's stopped in western Wythe County and eastern Smith County with the Germans. When you get out towards like Abingdon and Washington County, you don't find as many of them.
Okay.
So it's kind of halted on the western end of Wythe County. But Jacob Schaefer actually was in the eastern end, and he anglicized very quickly, learning English and working amongst the English end of the county with eastern Wythe County. But there's about 15, 16 of his rifles known that are signed, and this is a great rifle. It actually was misrepresented early on in the 70s. They thought it was a Pennsylvania gun, but another one come up that was signed, and it had so many similar characteristics they were able to attribute it to Wythe County and Virginia, and that was Wallace Gustler, the colonial gunsmith at Williamsburg, or the gunsmith at Colonial Williamsburg. And so he was the one who did all that research, and him and Roddy Moore and such like that. So it was a fancy rifle for its time.
Yeah. Now, was he an ancestor of yours?
He's my 5th great granddad.
Wow, that's impressive.
Twice, and my 4th great granddaddy once. So my family descends from him 3 times, or I do.
Yeah, when you stick around the area long enough, those roots start to go back to one.
Yeah, I could name quite a few last names that I descend from multiple times on my mom and my dad's side. That's why I married a girl from Delaware.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, but to work at a place where not only you're around this amazing stuff, but something from your ancestors is here. That's pretty interesting for sure.
It definitely puts a kind of a different spin to it.
Yeah.
I think it gives you a little bit more pride in things.
Yeah. I would be bragging all day as I get yours. I'd be like, so this is from my family.
Yeah, it's very interesting to come in and I collect personally too.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting to come into work and you see your ancestors on the wall because of what they contributed.
Yeah, that's important.
To the Southern decorative arts. So it's definitely eye-opening.
is indeed. Now, I don't remember learning much about this table when I talked to you before. I think it's fascinating. I'd like to know more about that. And this coverlet here is apparently important to Wytheville.
Yeah, so the table itself, saved that from a local antique store, and the oral history that came with it was made by an enslaved laborer.
Okay, good. Another
in
one.
Max Meadows.
Wow.
So unfortunately, the family would not relinquish the family name that owned the enslaved that made it, but we were able to save it and get it on display with that oral history. And it's really unique because the turning is excellent, but everything is nailed together. The top,
Oh, wow.
the braces on the top, the feet, everything is nailed into each other instead of being like sometimes the feet are actually dovetailed in and stuff.
Wow.
Everything is nailed in. So
It looks heavy. That is a
It's not
chunky
bad.
piece. Okay.
it's not bad. It's poplar
Okay.
with a dark varnish. And when I bought it, they said, "Yeah, we thought about painting it," and I was like, "Oh gosh, please don't." And they're like, "No, we're not gonna paint it." I was like, "Give me a price because I'm gonna take it home." And so I was able to purchase that myself and then get it here on the museum.
I love that very much.
It's a great piece.
It is.
Coverlet dates to about 1900. Callie Hedrick here, she has been in a couple books. Probably the big book she was in, or the most known book, is Textile Art of Southern Appalachian, and that's kind of where she got her fame from, was the publishment of that book. She's another ancestor of mine. This is my great-great-grandmother.
Wow.
On my mom's side, she's actually her husband is a descendant of the gunsmith.
Okay.
I have to think every now and then. I got too many ancestor names in my head, but the coverlet was made by her. It's a pretty nice little coverlet. She has a beautiful pattern that she did, and if you look at this one, I know it's red, white, and blue, but if you look at this one that was pictured in the book, it's the exact same patterns.
Oh yeah, I love that color. I hope you have one of these at home.
I do.
Okay, good. And that sort of feels older than 1900. I guess they made these all through the 19th century. I usually think of these as like 1840s or 50s.
Yeah, and
style.
they do go back that far, and even further back. It's just the ones that we actually find are much later, because backcountry conservatism, they were still making furniture and textiles and everything that is long out of date.
True.
Because that's what they knew. And we even see flintlocks up into the 1840s here, when percussion caps were already 1850s, 1860s. It wouldn't be hard to find a flintlock still being made, because the gunsmith had the parts.
Yeah, and the know-how.
Yeah.
So I love this room. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in here. You've got ironwork, you got powder horns. I guess, are you calling this scrimshaw?
This powder horn actually does have scrimshaw. Gentleman contacted us, I don't know, late summer. Said he had
So it's pretty fresh.
Yeah, said he had a ancestral powder horn that come from Wythe County with his name on it, and he wanted to donate it. We said absolutely.
Oh, it's even dated.
Yeah, it's 1888. Yeah, 1888. So.
And then your Betty lamp, I didn't know those were made locally. I thought that was more of a northern thing also.
Yeah, no, a blacksmith could have easily made those around here, and we had tons of blacksmiths, again, because of the iron industry. The bowl itself was made at one of the iron furnaces over in Speedwell that was owned by General Alexander Smith, War of 1812 general.
Oh, cool. Wow.
And that actually came right through his personal family line.
Wow. And okay, is that, I'm going to take two guesses, a humidor or some kind of cricket box? What is this?
That's a foot warmer.
Okay. See, I would have never guessed that. So how did you sit it in the floor and put your feet on it? Well, how did that work?
Yeah, you would put hot coals in it at the foot of the bed.
Okay. Oh, just like a bed warmer. But,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Or this one actually came out of a Lutheran church in River Retreat, and so you would actually just put hot coals in it and have it sitting on the floor next to your feet.
That's what I'm talking about. We can still do that at church.
I personally agree with that.
I want to talk about this table a little bit because it's unusual to me also. Usually all of the tables I've seen that are drop leaf have square leaves. Are these original cuts?
Those are original cuts. This is a breakfast table, and it's kind of unique too because you don't have the extra foot.
Yeah, no swing leg.
You just have an arm to come out and
yeah, that's kind of what they did later, like the 1940s ones, and a little later spring one that would come out there.
This table is very early, probably about 1830, 40.
Wow.
It's attributed to Thomas Moyers.
Okay, that is quite lovely. Now, it's walnut. Okay, I see. The end over here is very light. The turnings on the legs are beautiful, and then you've got a cast iron spittoon. That is fascinating. Everybody's used to seeing them made from brass.
Right. Yeah, this is cast iron. It's on loan to us. At some point, the family did paint it, but we believe it's from the Jackson Forge over in Poplar Camp, based on family history and everything. And actually, if you look on the bottom, it says JF. So we think that's probably the Jackson Forge based on family history and location of where they're from and such.
And the letters.
Yes.
Like
the letters.
Triple compound there. And some pottery, and this mantle is exquisite. I love this. I don't know, what do you call this ribbing right here? And then this carving right here.
I did know. I think probably a form of like dental molding.
Yeah.
A little bit longer than what we would think of as dental molding, but this mantle came out of a log cabin in Wythe County and was actually sold at auction up in the Shenandoah Valley this past fall.
Wow.
And a personal collector was able to buy it, and he put it on loan to us.
The maker was pulling out all the stops.
All the stuff,
they were
especially
like,
for,
what else can I carve on there? And then the shelf itself is shallow. That is very interesting. It doesn't look like it ever had another top piece to it.
No, it's all original. The only thing probably is it's had a couple varnishes put over it at the top, because if you look here, you can see remnants of blue paint.
Yep. Not far off from your front room.
Exactly.
Now those are some beastly andirons there. Wow.
Yeah, those are from the Major Graham Forge.
Oh man, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, so can you tell me, so the Major Graham Mansion and the Major Graham Forge, was that all synonymous?
That's all the same person.
Okay.
But we've got this donation here, which is a great donation from a good friend of ours, Robert Edmonds, up in Chilhowie. And this is actually signed George W. Moyers, 1835. And he is the brother-in-law to Fleming Rich, who made the famous Wythe County pie safes, which we have 3 of in here. Fortunate to have those 2. Fabulous turnings.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
We're working on getting this one restored. Fleming Rich, his shop still stands on Main Street. And like I said, he was known for the famous Wythe County pie safes.
Okay.
And they have been copied, and they have been restored by numerous people. This is actually, a pattern from one of the men who would copy the tins and would punch them, age them, and restore pie safes.
Oh, wow.
This is from the 1980s. But, it's important enough to show just how much these pie safes were coveted by people. I mean, when you want to copy them and sell them off and stuff like that. So
that's pretty neat. And these tins are, so I've always heard, and I'm not a pie safe expert, so I'm not sure that it's true or not, but that sometimes when they were refinished, they would turn the tins around so they didn't point out, but they were supposed to point out to keep flies from actually being able to get in.
Yeah, they're supposed to be pointed out, meaning the punch side would be out, because that would make it harder for the insects to get in because of the sharp edges. And so yes, when they were restored, they would turn them around.
So that's generally how you know a piece may have been refinished, is that the tins are turned inward.
Right. And
now this piece is interesting. It's a demi-lune end, or an end of a banquet table. Do you have the whole table?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
No, but it has that same cut like we saw on the breakfast table.
It sure does.
But this single foot here,
that is very
you go back to your James F. Siegel foot here.
I have never seen a single leg on the end of one. That's really neat.
I wish we had the rest of it.
And it's cherry also.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This looks like a piece from Monica's family. I think that looks like the Halsey desk. So that's obviously a Withville piece too, and you're dating it around 1860.
Yes, this came out of the Crockett post office.
Oh,
this
okay.
was the postmaster's desk.
Wonderful.
About that time.
Imagine a neighborhood with just that much mail.
So that's been in the museum collection for a long time. Not 100% sure who made it. It could be James F. Siegel. It also could be Ben Slater, Crockett, Virginia on the back. But we cannot figure out who Ben Slater is. We haven't found him in census records or anything. So we don't know if he was a cabinet maker or if he was actually the school teacher who was getting the desk.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been trying to figure that out as well.
The legs look, these turnings and the foot, they look similar to that drop leaf back there, and that may be completely uneducated, but
no, that's the big problem is,
so many similarities.
Yes, yeah, because Fleming Rich and his father-in-law Thomas Moyers, they were such a big shop. They had 20, 30 apprentices over the years.
That's true, yeah.
And so they're all learning this same technique. They're just putting their own spin to it. And I'm not saying every cabinet maker came out of that shop, because David Kinder absolutely did not. But there's only 6 pieces known by him, and one of them is signed. That's how we know that he was a cabinet maker. Mm-hmm. And so you have all those apprentices and variations, but you also have all these other cabinet makers who doesn't have a full list of apprentices that were studying under them, like the Rich family. It's hard to say who all was making stuff.
Yeah, the apprentices, some people could have worked in the cabinet shop and then gone out and carried the same techniques over.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, they didn't sign their name to everything so that we could learn from them. They didn't care about us.
So is this piece made by the same maker?
Because because the George W. Moyer sign chest was donated, we were able to look at this chest and firmly attribute it to the Moyers and Rich shop. So both of these chests are probably going to go for conservation.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. It's the same person. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, both of them mahogany veneered.
Now these 2 pie safes, these tins are applied.
Yes.
So what is there any big deal over that, like a major difference in construction?
No, it's just how the pieces were made at that time. Sometimes the tins were on the inside of the door, sometimes they were on the outside. Sometimes their skin tins were inlaid into the center of the doors.
Yeah.
So it's just this is probably the nailing it obviously to the outside and the inside is the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
But again, when you have, like at the Rich shop, when you have a dozen apprentices working at one time, they're not all going to do the same thing.
Yeah. Indeed. And that's walnut too. I wouldn't want to carry that around all the time.
It's a pretty good chunk. Jacob, my coworker, and I, we went and got that one. We went and got this one. Actually, we went and gotten all 3 of them.
Is this original paint? Probably
it's
not. But
original paint.
It is. Wow.
Yep.
That is a beautiful color.
Paris green.
That is beautiful.
And green was commonly thought to ward off bugs more than any other color. And the reason behind that is because of early colors of green. They actually used arsenic to get the colors, so it would kill the bugs off.
Okay. Kill your bugs, keep your pies safe. So it's interesting at the top of the steps where you see the wall kind of swoop inward like that. That's because a lot of times on a brick house, the first floor of the house would have been 3, 4. I think there's a house in Saltville that's 6 bricks thick, and then the upper stories would be thinner. And so sometimes you'd see that transition at the top of the stairs. So yeah, I love this room. I love the yellow color in here. It's good, nice period color, and looks great with the white walls.
This is probably my favorite color of the house. And again, painted before we found the green.
Yeah.
But this room is kind of set up like a 1870s bedroom in Wythe County. Everything in this room is William Rich. Yeah, William Rich, except for a couple tables and a washstand. Wardrobe over there is stamped like we saw on the table downstairs.
That is beautiful.
That was another donation, which was great. Because that is stamped, we were able to attribute the wardrobe behind me to the William Rich shop as well.
Okay.
That's been in the Rock House collection for years.
Yeah, I can see the similarities in the doors. Wow, and this piece is just beautiful. I love the knobs. I love the delicate nature of the mirror and the surrounding pieces. That is really, really beautiful.
Yeah, another William Rich piece, but this room kind of represents how regional furniture makers who were still making furniture after the Civil War were starting to implement that Victorian look.
Yes.
So they were still trying to be relevant, even though shipping and everything was starting to become more common, and you could get furniture from up north or Louisiana at that time and stuff through rail. But yeah, this room kind of represents that regional Victorian look with the larger pieces, the bed and the wardrobes and the chest here.
I'd love to talk to the original maker, because I don't think that's just a design. That almost looks like two birds.
You're right. You pointed that out and I just noticed it does look like two birds.
Yeah, almost like partridges or something kissing.
Yeah.
Probably meant something to someone.
You're absolutely right. I never noticed that.
And there's another wonderful coverlet. Is that from your ancestor as well?
No, that's from a local family, but again, about 1880.
Okay.
We just see the coverlets being made here so late. You're fortunate when you do find an early one. Oh, well, we have another painted blanket chest here.
Oh, look at that piece.
This one's later. It's 1839, signed and dated. This one has HH on one urn and 1839 on the other.
You gotta love it when they have dates on them.
Oh, absolutely.
Monica's father, once I was showing him a fireplace at our house and told him that the bricks were made in Chilhowie, and he said, "Well, how do you know that?" And I said, "Because it says Chilhowie brick on the back." And this bed, that is really neat, and it had room for a trundle bed, which is, were they a pair?
They were not a pair, but they were both found in Cripple Creek.
Oh, they look good together.
And the feather-tick mattresses on there are original.
Oh my gosh.
1870 from the Landreth estate. They have been sanitized and recovered in period fabric.
And so this is one of my favorite rooms, along with the yellow room. I love this bed, and I love both of these beds very much. Each one is unique for sure. That one has that middle spindle coming up. Tell us a little bit about this one, because I don't think I know much about it.
This was at the Repass home on Blacklick Road, which is in River Retreat. The house was built in the 1840s, and it's been there. The bed was in that house ever since.
That's
they can remember. And we actually talked to some people who actually, their grandparents lived in that home, and they all remembered the bed and everything. And so it was purchased by a private collector again, and it's on loan. So eventually it'll be leaving too. We constantly try to rotate things out so that we keep things fresh.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to promote or share about Wythe County's decorative arts history. I mean, I'm not sure of another museum that focuses on a singular county's contribution to Southern decorative arts history than us. There's some museums that do a whole region, but we just focus on Wythe County.
That's incredible.
And we're lucky enough to have enough to fill up, 7, 8 rooms?
Yeah.
Plus some outbuildings. Now, they're not fully decked out in Wythe County stuff, but there are Wythe County buildings.
Absolutely. And this one, it's a beautiful, I don't know, it's 18, yeah, that's what I was going to say, 1800, 1810. And then this would have had fabric over it, some kind of a canopy.
Yeah, it had a canopy. There's 3 beds, roughly known by this maker. Basically, that's an attribution between the turnings and the feet and everything, like most of your furniture has to be. The other bed is in our storage room right now. We've got to get some bolts to put it together. The other one is at the Museum of Early Southern Decorative Arts in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Right.
And so they have a twin to this bed.
Wow. They need to see them in the same room together.
Yeah. I would love to have them all in the same room together.
I love the way they have these, like, I'm going to call it a keyhole cover, but it's got this little
pretty much
cover for the bolt to go through there. That is a lovely bed. Absolutely lovely. Very tall off the ground, so you could fit a trundle bed under there as well,
Yep.
which I guess was pretty common.
Pretty common. And we think this is probably maybe a youth
Yeah.
bed.
Thank you so much for watching. If you love old houses as much as I do, then I invite you to follow along on all my platforms. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can follow along on Facebook for daily posts, and for a deep dive into history and real estate, you can subscribe to my newsletter. At theoldhouseagent.com, you're going to find valuable resources, regional history about Southwest Virginia and Northeast Tennessee, plus all my current listings. All these likes, shares, and subscriptions to these videos help keep the stories of these places alive. I'm Daniel Shew, the Old House Agent, and I'll see you on the next video.